Welcome back to WION World as One. Thank you so much for staying with us. My name is Hemkaur Saroya and here's a look at all the stories that we've lined up for you on Speed News this morning. US President Donald Trump has issued an ultimatum to Hamas stating that the ceasefire agreement between Israel and Hamas should be cancelled if Hamas does not release all remaining hostages by midday on Saturday. Trump expressed concerns that many of the hostages scheduled for release might already be dead, warning that if they're not here, all hell is going to break out. This move risks jeopardizing the fragile ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, which has been in place after 15 months of war. The existing framework for the negotiations includes massive humanitarian and reconstruction assistance for civilians in Gaza. US President Donald Trump granted a pardon to former Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich, a Democrat and ex-contestant on Celebrity Apprentice. Blagojevich was convicted of corruption for attempting to sell former President Barack Obama's vacated US Senate seat. He was removed from office in 2009 after prosecutors accused him of trying to sell or trade the Senate seat, left vacant by Obama's presidential win in 2008. Trump, who signed the pardon in Oval Office, stated that Blagojevich suffered a terrible injustice. US President Donald Trump signed an executive order pushing for the return of plastic drinking straws. The order essentially reverses his predecessor Joe Biden's environmental efforts to reduce single-use plastics across the federal government. Trump's administration claims that paper straws, which were promoted as an eco-friendly alternative, contain chemicals like PFAS, which can be harmful to human health and even contaminate drinks. The executive order directs the federal government to stop buying paper straws and ensures that they are no longer provided in federal buildings. It also requires the development of a national strategy to end the use of paper straws within 45 days. The U.S. Department of Justice has dropped corruption charges against New York Mayor Eric Adams, citing concerns that the case could interfere with his ability to work on President Donald Trump's law and order priorities. Acting Deputy Attorney General Emil Bove ordered federal prosecutors to dismiss the charges, which were related to Adams allegedly accepting bribes and illegal campaign contributions. This decision assumes significance as it departs from Justice Department norms, suggesting that a public official's duties can take precedence over facing accountability for alleged crimes. At least one person was killed and 3 others injured after a business jet collided into another parked business jet after landing at the Scottsdale Airport in Arizona. The cause of the crash is currently under investigation by the National Transportation Safety Board and the Federal Aviation Administration. The incident has raised concerns about U.S. air safety following a series of recent deadly crashes. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is set to meet US Vice President J.D. Vance on Friday at the Munich Security Conference, where they will discuss United States' push to end the 3-year war with Russia. This meeting is crucial as Zelensky is seeking tough security guarantees from the United States to ensure any settlement with Russia does not leave Ukraine vulnerable to another attack. Trump is pushing for a swift end to the war, and to achieve this, he is sending his special envoy Keith Kellogg to Ukraine. According to reports, Kellogg has been tasked to draw up a proposal to halt the fighting, which will be presented to Zelensky a week after the Munich conference. The US Senate has voted to advance Tulsi Gabbard's nomination as Director of National Intelligence with a 52-46 vote along party lines. While Democrats opposed it, this paves the way for a final confirmation vote expected on Wednesday. Despite concerns from Democrats, Republicans have rallied behind Gabbard, with Senate Majority Leader John Thune praising her commitment to reducing the size of the DNI's office. The Senate Intelligence Committee last week recommended Gabbard's nomination for consideration by the full Senate by a narrow 9-8 vote, also along party lines. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who arrived in Paris on Monday, attended a welcome dinner hosted by French President Emmanuel Macron at the Elysee Palace ahead of the AI summit. At the venue, Prime Minister Modi met several other world leaders who will be attending the AI summit, including US Vice President J.D. Vance. The first such meeting of the two leaders after Mr. Vance took oath last month. The Prime Minister's office also shared photos of the three leaders interacting with each other during the welcome dinner.
And after that, we'll go together for dinner.
President, how are you? So much. It's a beautiful place. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
It's great to be here.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's so nice to see you.
Great.
The first flights deporting Venezuelan migrants from US landed at La Guaira Airport in Venezuela. The two planes operated by Venezuelan airline are part of the repatriation program aimed at returning thousands of migrants who fled Venezuela due to economic sanctions and psychological warfare. According to a government statement, some individuals on the flights are suspected to having ties to the Tren Aragua gang and will face thorough investigations of potential criminal activity. And this development follows a January agreement between the US administration and Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. Mexican ranchers have resumed exporting cattle to the United States after a temporary suspension due to the detection of the New World screwworm in November. The suspension was lifted on the 31st of January 2025 after the health control memoranda was signed, allowing for the importation of live cattle and bison from Mexico. Drone footage showed cattle crossing from Juarez into Texas on the 10th of February, marking the restart of exports. Alvaro Bustillos, president of the Regional Livestock Union, expects US authorities to gradually increase the permitted number of cattle beyond the current 500. North Korea's defense ministry has issued a statement condemning the United States for sending a nuclear submarine to a South Korean port, calling it a grave security threat. The ministry expressed concern that this move could lead to an actual armed conflict in the region. The USS Alexandria submarine arrived at the Busan port on Monday for supplies and crew rest, with South Korea's defense ministry claiming it is an opportunity for the two countries' navies to promote exchange and combined defense posture. Shares at major listed steel makers in top producer China slid today as fresh tariffs by President Donald Trump stoked concerns over possible impact on steel exports this year. Trump substantially raised tariffs on steel and aluminum imports overnight to a flat 25% without exceptions or exemptions in a move to aid struggling domestic industries. Steel prices on the Shanghai Futures Exchange also slipped by more than 1% in the morning trading session. Fears mounted that new tariffs will add more uncertainty to China's steel exports this year. Oil prices extended gains after reports showed Russian oil production fell short of quota on more fears of supply disruptions, but gains were limited by worries that escalating trade tariffs could dampen global economic growth. Brent crude futures are trading above $76.11, while oil US oil trades above $72 a barrel. Both contracts posted gains of near 2% in the prior session after 3 weekly losses in a row. Shipping of Russian oil to China and India and the world's major crude oil importers has been significantly disrupted by US sanctions last month, targeting tankers, producers and insurers. Gold hit a record high, the dollar was firm and Hong Kong shares advanced to a 4-month peak in early trade as investors navigated shifts in US trade policy and waited to hear from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell on tariffs and inflation. Gold now trades just below $3,000 an ounce as its safe haven appeal boosts prices. Looking ahead, markets are largely expecting the US Fed to hold rates steady at its March meeting with expectations for a rate cut of at least 25 basis points, not climbing above 50% until June. That move could be the next big trigger for gold. A consortium led by Elon Musk said that it has offered $97.4 billion to buy the non-profit that controls OpenAI. Now that's another salvo in the billionaire's fight to block the AI startup from transitioning for a profit firm. Musk's bid is likely to ratchet up long-standing tensions with OpenAI CEO Sam Altman over the future of the ChatGPT maker at the heart of a boom in generative AI technology. In response, Altman promptly posted on X, and I'm quoting here, "No thank you, but we will buy Twitter for $9.74 billion if you want." Musk co-founded OpenAI with Altman in 2015 as a non-profit, but left before the company took off. He founded the competing AI startup xAI in 2023. Musk, the CEO of Tesla and owner of tech and social media company X, is a close ally of President Donald Trump. He spent more than $250 million to help elect Trump and leads the Department of Government Efficiency. South Africa's Matthew Breedski became the first player to make 150 on his ODI debut, but the Protea still lost to New Zealand by 6 wickets in Lahore. The 26-year-old opener made exactly 150 from 148 balls as South Africa posted 304 for 6. Breedski is only part of the Tri-Series squad and will not feature in the Champions Trophy. But he was upstaged by New Zealand's Kane Williamson, who scored an unbeaten 133 of 113 balls. Devon Conway hit 97 as the Kiwis reached the target with 8 balls to spare. The win secures New Zealand's place in Friday's Tri-Series final. They will face the winner of Pakistan-South Africa clash on Wednesday. Italian World Cup winner Alessandro Nesta has been rehired by Monza just 7 weeks after being sacked. The Italian top-flight club replaced the legendary centre-back with Salvatore Boschetti in December, but dismissed him after a 5-1 defeat to Lazio on Sunday. Monza, bottom of the Serie A and 8 points adrift of safety Nesta, was originally appointed in July 2024, and he could only manage 1 win from 17 league games in his first stint. A Bryan Adams concert has been cancelled in Australia. The performance at the RAC Arena in Perth was cancelled due to potential public health risk. According to city's water officials, a large blockage of fat, grease and rags was causing several wastewater overflows near the venue, making it unsafe for concert goers. Fans were left waiting outside the venue for hours as updates trickled in. Initially, the delay was attributed to a leak in septic tanks. Later, officials confirmed the show's postponement. In a surprise encounter, global music sensation Ed Sheeran and India's beloved singer Arjit Singh was spotted having a blast together in Murshidabad, which is approximately 220 kilometers from Kolkata. The destination is the hometown of Singh. His friendship with the British singer blossomed last September when they shared the stage in London. During his current India tour, Sheeran made time to visit Singh in his hometown despite a packed schedule.